Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here, and welcome back to another episode of American Truck Simulator, the Washington DLC. And as you can see, we are not in our regular Volvo. There were only 2 jobs in the entire world that went to Longview, so I decided to do a quick job, and we are hauling logs. We've got 5.5 hours to get there. Taking a look at our route, we have quite the twisty-turvy kind of way until we get to Highway 20. Then we're going to hop on the 5 all the way down past Tacoma until we get to Longview. So a lot of highway driving on the 5 today, so we should be pretty free and clear, but you know, that is what it is. Let's get used to this new truck here.
Let's do this.
And yeah, let's set our indicator so we can see speed and cruise control. Parking brake off. I'm not sure what kind of gearing we have here, so let's just roll out nice and easy. Looks like we're making a right here. And then once we get on the open track, we should be fine as long as we're not hit by a very large piece of logging equipment. And I tell you what, that is impressive. I don't know where they got the models, if they built the models themselves or they purchased them from, say, a logging simulator. There's a lot of simulators out there, in particular like the farming simulators, that the models look very similar in American Truck to what they do in actual farming sim. Yeah, I don't see how we're going to go 60 down this road. I'll just let the truck cruise on down until we get to some pavement. We're definitely over the river and through the woods here. I can see why not a whole lot of, loads come this way. Because could you imagine hauling a massive thing? Let's take a look at this mountain road, and as you can see, it's pretty perilous. It looks like a rally course almost, with the sheer cliffs and the drop-offs. Definitely don't want to be wrecking someone else's truck. Now, we're only making $5 grand from this particular drop, but it's not about the money, it's about the journey and completing the Washington DLC as far as finding every city goes. I looked at the achievement list, and there are a few that I can get. Driving through both tunnels of Seattle is one, and the 3 things you have to see is the not Mount Cooley, but Grand Coulee Dam. Then you have to see Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier, and we've seen 2 of those. Maybe during our journey we'll get another one of those and complete 2 achievements this time around, but I'm not exactly sure. I also don't know if we've gone through both tunnels of Seattle. Now let's whoa this thing right up. Hairpin turn. Hopefully no one's coming the other direction, because we don't have a whole lot of room to maneuver. And I tell you, if any truck driver has to do this in real life, I feel for them. It reminds me of those trucking videos I see from, say, India, or maybe not India, like Kathmandu or some of the big mountain countries where the road is like 1 lane wide and it's on a 6,000, 7,000 feet sheer cliff drop off, and the wheels get right on the edge. So always exciting. I definitely couldn't do it, but could you imagine that particular game? Like Asia Truck Simulator with some very interesting roads like that. That would be interesting indeed. So we're not out of the woods yet, haha, literally and figuratively. We do have a little bit of a pavement here, but it's still an undeveloped road. A lot of bumps and undulations in the wheel, as you might be able to hear, but we're trucking along okay, 25 miles an hour, but still an interesting switchback. I'm glad I only have to drive this road once. If I was going for like 100% of all roads driven, this would certainly be one to, not to take lightly. And if I did miss this road and have to come up here bobtailing, it would kind of be pointless, because the drop-off is the only thing at the top of this hill. So it's nice that we're able to actually make some money on our way down on this perilous journey. Could you imagine how much torque you'd need to get up this thing fully loaded? Going downhill ain't bad. I haven't really even been on the gas at all, letting Sir Isaac Newton do the work. And if you're not familiar with the expression that I use, let Sir Isaac Newton do the work. It comes from my Kerbal Space Program playthrough, where usually we're just coming down to a planet's surface and letting air resistance and gravity pull us down. Man, a little bridge there. I tell you, if there's any road that I've driven on that is the most unique in American truck, this seems to be it. Because I don't remember being on an undeveloped road for so long and with a perilous sheer drop-off like we've got over there. Hopefully this Peterbilt will do the work for us. It definitely feels odd being in a Peterbilt after being in a Kenworth for a very long time, and then our Volvo. Jeez. Holy crap at this. It's like you just want to drive straight, but that's like 60 feet you would drop. And I couldn't imagine doing this in VR. American Truck does support VR, I wouldn't say natively, but they do have a mode where you can use your Oculus Rift or HTC Vive. So that particular road would be very interesting in VR, able to look out your passenger or your driver's side window and just see the expanse below you. It's kind of like a feeling I would get on, say, Google Earth VR or something like that, where you go to a top of a cliff and you look down and you start to feel very small indeed. Yeah, I don't know how anyone would get up to 60 without their entire truck falling apart. But we are coming close to the highway, so not too much more of this. But I remember watching squirrel streams for what was that, the map mods that Euro Truck had, and they put in some roads like this, like long before they were actually in Euro Truck or American Truck. So taking some inspiration from that for sure, and it gives you the feeling that you're off the beaten path. But Highway 20 is just up here. We'll be able to finally put the pedal down and gain some speed here. I don't know how many gears are in this particular truck. That's the downside of driving someone else's equipment, is you're not sure about the power or the gearing that you've got. And man, it doesn't even look like the highway's up here, but it is. Yeah, stop sign right here. Finally. Luckily, we're making a right turn. Nice, we got the achievement over the top, and I think that was drive the logging road. That's another achievement that I saw that I did not have. So luckily, our last load got us on the very tall mountain road. And we can finally stretch the legs of this Peterbilt and head on down the highway. And it should be pretty smooth sailing from here. Especially once we get on the 5, we'll be pretty much untouchable. I'm thinking maybe 13 gears in this thing. Let me just shift all the way up. Nope, 10 gears is all we have. So 55 put on the cruise, and 10th gear is as high as we can go. So thankfully we didn't have to try to climb that hill with just 10 gears. I think the RPM disparity may do us in, but awesome. So 4 hours and 17 minutes until we get there. It looks around a 10 p.m. arrival time in Longview. So we should get a nice sunset. We'll be heading south. So our the sun will be setting to our, what would that, setting to our left. Once we get on the 5, that is. So I want to thank you for tuning in thus far to American Truck Simulator. If you've caught all of my episodes so far, you the real MVP. And if this is your first episode, why don't you just, at the end of the video, I'll have the playlist there on the end card. Just click on that and give it a watch. I've chronicled all of my career mode progression in one easy-to-find playlist from the very first drive of American Truck Simulator. All right, let's back it down. We've got a red light here getting into civilization. And And that kind of looked like a train track. I don't want to be stopping on any train track. But it's just like a break in the map. Interesting. Hey, SCS, if you just happen to be watching, here at this stop sign, or stoplight where I-20 meets I-5, you may recognize the location here, just next to that convenience store. The map seems to break just a little bit. Thankfully, no ill collision or anything like that. Tell you, map makers have it tough though, especially as a map grows. The things that, you know, a map maker may miss.
Keep left and then turn left.
All right, let's turn on our lights, get into the suicide lane as we will be making a left turn at Albuquerque.
Turn left.
And I'll back up here because I can't see that light if I'm like right on it. I think we're clear. Yeah, we're clear of the road. There we go. All right, down in second gear if you please. I'm used to having like a lot of gears and a lot of horsepower at my disposal, so starting the truck in fourth or even sixth gear isn't out of the question. Oh, another break in the map a little bit. Yeah, that little intersection. Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more gearing than this. Let's actually go up one gear at a time here. Yeah, having only 10 gears, you know, this is like 70% of our, you know, each gear is 10% of your gear range. So if you're having some difficulty, you can't really skip gears until you're out on the open road. Let's go up to 9th gear here, and then once we hit 50, we'll get back up to 10th and cruise for the next 3.5 hours. Yeah, it doesn't have the pep in its step that I'm used to with the Volvo, that is for sure. Top gear, set the cruise for 60. And away we go. But like I said, it's been a good journey here in the Washington DLC. I've enjoyed it a lot. Looking forward to Utah. And as per usual, once Utah breaks, I will have it on my channel as soon as I can. YouTube isn't what I do full time, but I do put a lot of time into it. It's about as much time as a full-time job on top of the full-time job I already have. So, you know, thankfully I'm able to record for everyone and do some cool stuff like American Truck Sim. There was a boat going under that bridge. Yeah, hopefully we don't run into any split bridges with stoplights. I think we'll be coming down south through Seattle. So maybe, just maybe, we'll also get the Tunnel Rat achievement or whatever it's called, where you drive through both tunnels of Seattle. We're approaching the Darkwing Duck Freeway. And I imagine if you get into an accident there, you run into trouble, you call DW. Yeah, I don't see Seattle yet. Not sure exactly where we are. I imagine the suburbs. Muckalito? Not sure, but I haven't been on this road before. The overpasses, or the exits, are lighting up yellow. As long as these trucks keep getting out of our way, we'll be all set. And as long as we stay 60, we'll be set. Won't have to do any adverse braking or accelerating here. One thing that we do have to be wary of is the detours that may pop up. But here we are entering Seattle. There's the Space Needle. And looks like a tunnel coming up. I don't know if they would call this the tunnel. It's just basically overpasses. Dearborn Street, use exit 164. Well, we're not exiting on Dearborn Street. This kind of reminds me of Monaco. The tunnel that, well, I wouldn't call it a tunnel, but basically the overhang of the hotel that they drive under. Excuse me. had to sneeze. I will say, with all the episodes that I've recorded in my past, a sneeze really hasn't come up so much. You know, if I was a bigger channel and people were so inclined, I'm sure there would be a spreadsheet on the internet already. How many times have you sneezed during an episode? Port of Seattle, Terminal 18, use Spokane Street. Well, I believe we will be passing this guy. Let's go ahead and get over to the left lane. And that irks me. If this was my truck, I would buy... Oh, nice. I'd definitely get some mirrors that I didn't have to turn. Oh, you scum of the earth, come on. Tell you, he wanted to change lanes, and he's like, no. I know change lanes. I go back. Don't tell me we're exiting right. We're on 5 all the way through here, man. Oh well, doesn't matter. We cleared him. Yeah, now he's getting over. Tell you what, I don't know what he was doing with his life except causing me pain and personal anguish. And now I think, yeah, we came down from the right here. So we've been on this road before. Hopefully we don't have to stop. As soon as I said something. All right. Get that slowed right down. Hopefully it don't take us too awful long to accelerate back up to speed, but inconvenient truck scale is inconvenient. And of course they don't have to stop. Why would they? They just saw me and said, hey, you're not going to play this game for a bit. Why don't you come on in here? Take a look at it. Yeah, really short range here. See if we can get up to speed with any speed. I'm not slowing down, so if you want to give me a ticket, go ahead. I need to get up to highway speed here. All right, we are not exiting on Tacoma Street, so another left we go.
Keep
left. I tell you, I'm used to like having a lot of gears at my disposal. Not used to having to go one gear at a time, but whatever's clever. Get her back up to 60 if we can. Set that cruise and off we go again. All right, passing the Tacoma Dome, so we are entering Tacoma. Say goodbye to the Tacoma Dome one last time. I doubt we'll ever see it again if we focus on our easterly advances with Utah. Yeah, when I play this by myself off camera, getting those achievements, I don't know where I'm going to park up, where the closest point to Utah would be.
Keep left.
Ending my truck there would be a probably good thing, but then again, once the game updates, it always resets your truck back to your home garage, which for me, it's Los Angeles. I started this game when, you know, California was the state. Of course, they had Nevada in there as well, but I started in LA. But they did put in that fast travel aspect where if there is a garage anywhere in the world, you can just warp there. But yeah, as the sun sets on our series, as it did after the first series ended. I ended the original game playthrough with a cannonball run from the northwestern corner of California to the southeastern corner of, was it New Mexico? Or was it Arizona? I think it was Arizona, because the base game came with California, Arizona, and Nevada. And that was before New Mexico came out, so I did a cannonball run from the northwest corner of the map to the southeast corner of the map as fast as I could. No traffic, didn't obey traffic speed limits or anything, got into a car, which could go well over 100 miles an hour, and just floored it and seen what happened. And we got to the final destination as the sun was setting there as well. So just an hour to go, we're through Tacoma. Longview shouldn't be too far ahead. So what's next, you might wonder? To be honest, I wonder that myself. As far as what goes in the Monday slot, I've been pondering over it over the last few weeks because I knew this series was coming to an end. And if you go by analytics, it should have ended a very long time ago. 4 views on a video doesn't exactly push it out to the YouTube algorithm. But I enjoy doing it for sure. That's the thing is, with recording and having to record so much footage, I hardly get a chance to play games on my own. Like, mainly my gameplay is for videos, so it's like I doubt I'll touch American Truck again that much until Utah comes out. The Tootie River. And Longview is indeed a mile away, 27 minutes, 16 miles till we get there as the sun sets. Pull into a rest stop, sleep, let the economy reset, or I may hold off. That way, once Utah gets installed, my first sleep will basically spur on the Utah economy.
Exit right.
Yep, exiting right, exit 36 to Longview. And we're almost to the city limits, and as soon as we get there, the achievement will pop. Which should be just over this bridge. Now, I can't tell if it's going to be a right turn or a left turn, so we'll ease it on into town here. 35 miles an hour indeed. And there we go, the Evergreen State achievement get.
And then turn left.
We are done with American Truck Simulator as far as finding every city goes. Still plenty to do, and it's one of those games that never ends unless you want it to, but finding every city is a pretty good stopping place. Sweet. So as long as this truck gets out of the way, we're good. And it's amazing how quick these deliveries go. Just chatting up, having a good time, talking about the scenery and everything that's going on, and we're here. And the lights are staying green, calling us home.
Go straight on.
We shall. And I think that's the last stoplight that we have to go through. We'll be making a right turn up here. Well, the lane merges, throwing one last wrench into the works as we get behind a tour bus, but no worries, we are almost there. Right. That's a cool building. Definitely a mill. It looks like a mill for sure. Westport Docks.
Turn right.
Sweet, here we are.
Get ready to turn right.
A little chicane down to the bottom of the hill.
Turn right, and then turn left.
We shall. Actually, I can see our drop-off straight ahead. So the question is, do they want us to back in and put it in that corner? I think they do. Let me drive by and get a good look at it. We can always drive around. Yes, indeed. So they want it backed up right there. We can indeed. So one last interesting park before we end. It's not going to be one of those doubles where we can just pull straight in and be good. All right, so a long reverse for sure. But the good thing is we'll be pretty much straight. All right, let's whip this thing around and get it pointed in the correct direction. All right, I think we're kind of in the middle of the road here. Yeah, I can see our drop-off right there. This is where you would definitely need a ground guide, because we're backing up like the entire length of the yard, and it's like, don't know if anyone's going to be back there. But not too awful bad. There we go. All right, detach and return the truck, because this isn't our truck. So there we go, 278 miles, 7.6, or 7 hours, 6 minutes. Not, I mean, 2 chunks of experience, not bad. Maybe by the time Utah hits, I'll be level 37, but not actually sure. But there we go. Everything is awesome. Everything is discovered in Washington as far as cities go. So every city is lit up. So I just have to drive on some of these roads to get some of the sightseeing achievements that we got, or we need to get. And I don't have the forestry DLC. And there are 2 achievements that are tied directly to the forestry DLC. So in the fall sale that Steam may have coming up, I may pick up forestry then. Luckily, it's not a it's not dependent on state like the heavy haul DLC was. The heavy haul was like complete every heavy haul route, but of course as states are added, more heavy haul routes are added, and that achievement becomes harder and harder to get if you're not right on top of it. But that will do it for me and this series of American Truck Simulator, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much again. If you have tuned in to every single one, comment below and let me know that you have. But until Utah, like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in Utah. Take care.